to join. Someone need to join back for the recording. All right. Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Nahmaduhu wa nusalli ala rasulihil kareem, amma ba'd. So this is week 4. This is our course, Sustainable Development Issues, Principles and Practices. We've been discussing, starting from the system thinking, the development, the sustainable development, the history, the background, and then last week we started talking about the Islamic perspectives. So now this is the continuation of the last week, but now we have some few new slides to add, because last week we talked about the Quran and Sunnah, the perspective of Islamic, the primary sources of Islam, the Shari'ah. We talked about the perspectives, but we didn't cover talking about the Maqasid al-Shari'ah perspective. So I think this class is going to cover how exactly you actually can see the Maqasid al-Shari'ah, which is actually similarly or most probably better option, better than the sustainable development that what we call today. So how do you exactly want to put, Maqasid of Sharia, and how do you want to solve all the problems that we are facing right now? That's the reason why we are talking about sustainability. Was this sustainability one of the core value of Maqasid? Was this sustainability already been mentioned in Maqasid Sharia? Was it what meant by Maqasid Sharia? So these are the things. So we are going to clear out. So we are going to talk about we are going to basically compare the elements of sustainable development and the elements of Maqasid al-Shari'ah, how those things comes together, or is it same? Is it going to achieve the same target, or Maqasid Sharia has something broader? So these are the things what we are going to talk about it. And then the second half of the class, we are going to talk about the one element which comes when it comes to religion. People, all kinds of religion, talk about this thing, which is spirituality. So now there is a religiosity and then there is a spirituality. So when it comes to spirituality, I think every religion talks about it. They have their own definition of their spirituality, but everyone talks about soul. Then there is something to talk about, ruh, what we call in Arabic. So then we are going to see other religions other than Islam, whether they have this spirituality, because if someone wants to work on sustainable development, what should be the factor that actually making you to do that? What exactly moves you? As a Muslim, it's quite simple, because as a Muslim, we believe in this, that every single action that we do, all the good act, anything that we do, good act, if I'm a mu'min, that's the reason why you can see that man amila salihan wa huwa mu'min, as being as a mu'min, someone holds iman, someone do the good deeds, good works, anything, it could be anything. You are building the road, you are building some transportation, you are engineering some aircraft, anything, you are cleaning the toilet, or you are cleaning the road, or supplying food, or anything. It could be government, it could be private, anything. But if I do that, and then I am a mu'min, right? So when I'm a mu'min and I'm doing this good thing, something that helping others, something benefiting to the world, then I'm going to get my reward in hereafter. It's not that I'm only getting my salary here. It's not that I'm only building my life here, but it is also at the same time I'm building my life in hereafter. That is what every mu'min is actually going to get. So it's not only for this world. So right now I'm trying to finish my degree so that I will be graduated. So I will be getting my scroll, my certificate, my transcript, which I will be using it, you know, to apply for some job, and then I will get some work, and then I will get my salary. Then I'm going to get married, produce children, and then become social part of the society. And then perhaps I might go to politics. I might do some government, you know, governmental things, and then I will be like become the leader. So I will be leading few people, or maybe a group, or maybe a community. Right? As I will be doing so many good things, helping and everybody, then one day I will have to die. So all these things that we do, if I have the good intention, the right intention that I'm doing this because I'm not only building my life here, I'm also building my life in hereafter. That's why وَبِالْآخِرَةِ هُمْ يُوقِنُونَ. So when there is a Surah Al-Baqarah, you open the Quran, the first page of the Quran, you see this. وَبِالْآخِرَةِ الَّذِينَ يُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْغَيْبِ وَيُقِيمُونَ الصَّلَاةَ وَمِمَّا رَزَقْنَاهُمْ يُنْفِقُونَ. Then you will be seeing the Quranic verses continuously talking about وَبِالْآخِرَةِ هُمْ يُوقِنُونَ, meaning the Akhirah life, the life in the Akhirah. They firmly believe in life in Akhirah. That's the reason why we do all the good things here. So now, as a Muslim, it's quite simple to say. So whatever the practices that we are discussing, whatever the principles we are discussing, and whatever the thing that we are aiming or we are planning to do in the name of sustainable development, definitely we are not only building our life here, we are also building our life in hereafter. So we discussed this in last week, right? So now as a Muslim, it is quite simple to understand. But what about other religion? What about my non-Muslim friends? What about others? So now you may say some non-Muslims, they don't believe in any religion, so they are secular. So for them, it is just helping for the well-being of the humanity, but they don't have any objectives to achieve. So you may see many philanthropists, work on that. That's because they just want their name to be praised. So you will see that many philanthropists, he donated this amount of money, that company did that kind of work. So it will it's like a advertisement, and you can see that sometimes those group of companies, they might go for scholarship programs, and they will say, okay, this is the company name, this is the scholarship program. By doing that kind of philanthropical work, helping, they are actually building their company. You need to understand this. There is a thing we call corporate social responsibility, CSR. Every big companies, huge amount of money they have to spend on that, because they don't have to pay taxes if they spend something on that. For example, a company is giving you a scholarship, let's say 100,000 ringgit. So that company, they don't have to pay that 100,000 ringgit to the government, because it's a kind of tax deduction or tax exempted. So now why they do that? If they don't believe in religion, why they do that? So that they can build their company, so that when they are showing to the world that they are actually very kind, and they are actually very human being, they are actually helping everyone. So people will see it, and then people will be having the thought that, okay, this company is helping, at least helping others. Let's go and buy the product. Let's go and buy that particular company's product. So this is how the philanthropical work have been promoted in this way. So the philanthropy, the charity, the charitable work might, produce or might help you to grow your company, or maybe the personality. Someone might wants to become the president of America, and then he started spending and spending and spending from his tower. so he became the president. He didn't spend the money for the akhirah. He didn't spend the money for the sake of God. He just spent the money for the sake of his presidency. Okay, he's no more now. Just to give you some example. Okay, so this is how the non-Muslim, the secular non-Muslims, they will be thinking about it. But what about the non-Muslim who actually believe in other religion? For example, Hinduism, Buddhism, Christianity. So these are the group of the people. They based on the spirituality, because they want to go for the spiritual to get themselves, you know, into something that they have that kind of what you know, the open mind, maybe the peace of mind, peace of heart. They are getting it, so they also do for that kind of. That's why spirituality is something that when we talk about the most of the people in the world actually following the religion. Some of them Christianity, some of them Muslim, of course. But there is one thing is actually common, which is actually everyone going towards the spirituality. As a Muslim, it is very clear why we are following Islam. But if you ask Christians why you are following Christianity, if you ask Hinduism why Hindus, if you ask them why you are following Buddhism, for example, Buddhist, they will be saying what? They will be saying that I want to become a good human, so I want to become a spiritually I want to become a good. I want to throw away my thinking, my negative thinking. I want to bring positivity. So I want to become good. All right. They also don't believe in the hereafter, but they just believe in something that, you know, this is the spirituality because their leaders said so. All right. So that's what the second part of the slides actually will talk about spirituality, and then the reason why we are talking, because spirituality can become a fundamental factor to go for sustainable development. So right now, if you look into the 17 goals, if you look into all 17 goals, all 17 is actually totally is a materialistic goals. You know, talking about no poverty, talking about no hunger, talking about education, talking about the sustainable city, talking about the responsible consumption, talking about the, you know, what else you have, partnership, right, inequality, you know, clean water, for example. All these 17 goals that we have right now is most probably we are actually going towards the material world. You know, the material, actually being materialistic. You know, we just want to have a good life, meaning I want to have a good oxygen, good water, good house, good surrounding, good society, good economy, good environment. So that whether I live 70, 80, 90 years old, so all these 90 years I have to be like a healthy person, and then I die. So all this sustainable development is actually talking about the material life. It's not talking about the spiritual life. That's the reason why our university, there are many, one of them most importantly, our university, IIUM, is actually proposing to add 18th. This is 17 goals. So we want to promote, we are actually proposing the 18th goal, which is actually spirituality. Because we cannot bring like Islam or Islamic religion, because that would be, because this is the United Nation, right? So every nations are there. You know, nations that following Hinduism, nations that following Christianity, Buddhism, everyone is there. Even secular, everyone is there. That's why we cannot bring like Islam as a religion as 18, but we are trying to bring spirituality, so that the spirituality can combine everybody, all the religions, so that, you know, there is a reason why we are actually working towards sustainable development. All right, but we are already talking about Sharia, we are already talking about Maqasid. For you and me, we actually already have our reason why we are working, why we are teaching this course, now you understand why we are teaching this course, because it is already there. Man amila salihan wa huwa mu'min. If you are doing anything that good, any good action that you are doing, at the same time you actually a mu'min, a Muslim, definitely you are going to get your reward in this world. Also, you are going to get your reward in the hereafter. So for you and me, there is no reason to follow this sustainable development. Maybe for others, they need lots and lots of reasons. For you and me, it's very clear. That's why we are trying to put the Maqasid Sharia and the sustainable development together. We want to see how similar is this idea, or is it Maqasid is a broader than sustainable development, or sustainable development is a broader than Maqasid. This is what we want to see in today's class. Most probably I have given you all the introduction. Now I think we can quickly go into slides one by one. I think you will understand everything. All right. Okay. So now let's see. This is a summary of the current context and future focus. So basically, we already had this slide in the last class. We talked about one side, we have classical Western sustainability. Okay, in between you have a current sustainable perspective. The last one, you have Islamic sustainability. So you can see that, you know, in the classical Western, you have economic man, then you have sustainability man, then you have vice current man, which is Khalifa. You have materialistic equity, then equity, equality, justice, then ethical, spiritual equality and equity. So you can see, you can read all these things. So the last one you see, last one, value free. The secular one is value free. The current sustainable one is goodness and common values. Islamic is actually completely value loaded, right? You can also see in this side you have life enjoyment, which is the Western sustainability. The current one is a quality life for everyone. And we have the term called hayatun tayyibatun. Hayatun tayyibatun. فَلَنُحَيِّئَنَّهُ hayatun tayyiba. So I think you can see that all the things here together. Okay, so keep these slides with you all the time so you can actually have this comparison. Okay, now I have to ask you before we start Maqasid Sharia, because I know most of you, this is your first semester for first semester in this university, but perhaps if you are coming from foundation, I think most probably you know, or maybe some other sources you may learn. Could you please tell me what do you think? What do you know about Maqasid Sharia? Have you heard it before? Share your thoughts and opinions. So please, I give you 1 minute. Please write it down. Anything that you know about Maqasid. Okay, we got the first one. Yeah, I think it talks about the principles of caring for convenience, maslaha of people. Yes, I think it more to a guide people to achieve sa'ada fi darain. It was a purpose of Sharia. Very good. Purpose of Sharia, which covers 5 things. Covers. Okay. Goals that Islam has set for humanity. Because Sharia is what Islam wants us to do in our daily life, from the smallest things to the biggest. Because Sharia is the 5 basic things. Sharia is looking 5 basic things. Sharia is looking at. I hear the most word from the word first from physician. My understanding of Maqasid Sharia is a set of rules that ensure the well-being of humanity, that covers the 5 principles. Maqasid Sharia is making the source of Dalil, which is Al-Quran, Sunnah, and we apply in our life. Yes, I have heard before, but I'm not sure whether Islamic environment giving manfa for others about law. Okay, thank you for your yes, I think some of you didn't hear it, so I think I agree with you. Maybe you did it. Maybe you heard, but you don't know what exactly. That is good. If you don't know about any, if you don't know this, if you don't know about it, it is good because you will learn fresh. But some of you have given some sort of definitions, and I actually can see that it is a confusion, right? Yeah, like Mahyuddin said, preservation of religion, life, intellect, lineage, and wealth. Okay, that's very short and very good answer as well. But some of you wrote it. I think there's a confusion, because I agree with you, because most of the time when we ask anybody what do you think about Maqasid Sharia, I think mostly they give some sort of bundle kind of answers. So it is good actually. Before I start, I came to know what do you think about it. Okay, let me just go here, and then before I talk to you about Maqasid Sharia, I think you need to know that it is already there in our vision. You can say even FPK also has it, because FPK, I think this is Falsafa Pendidikan Kebangsaan, the national philosophy of education, right? Even in fact the 4 pillars of education from UNESCO: learning to know, learning to do, learning to be, learning to live together. You can see that in a way, actually, our university they brought this Maqasid Sharia at the bottom. From there, they are actually bringing everything. From Maqasid, you have sustainable development. From Maqasid, you have 5 wisdom of Falsafa Pendidikan Kebangsaan. Then you have a Sujahtara from Maqasid. So I think Maqasid Sharia, they put it down there. I will come back to that. What is it? Here you can see as well. If you know about IIICE, I think you heard this word during your ta'aruf. Am I right? Internationalization, integration, Islamization, and comprehensive excellence. This is what our IIICE. So now you can see that there are 5 P's. The 5 P's coming from 17 Sustainable Development Goal: partnership, peace, people, planet, and prosperity. All right. This is all our university's slide. So I just want to go through. Okay. If you look into vision of university, which is actually you saw IIICE, the 4th thing: internationalization, integration, Islamization, and then comprehensive excellence. This is actually IIICE is actually vision of IIUM. All right. This is our vision. This is what we aim to achieve. But how do we achieve those vision? Then you need mission. You need 7 missions to achieve that 4 vision. So if you look into the missions of IIUM, then you will see this: integrated knowledge, sustainable development, Islamization, Islamic moral, spiritual values, international community, intercultural dialogue, deep sense of social responsibility. So somehow, many years ago, 30, 40 years ago, we started writing this mission of IIUM. Then, of course, luckily, we actually also talk about sustainable development even before the United Nations start talking about sustainable development, because this SDG they only started talking about in 2015. Before that, it was MDG, Millennium Development Goals. So this sustainable development, we had it even before they started talking, right? Okay. So now, coming back to the question that I was asking you, what is Maqasid Sharia? All right. So now, before you read all this, I know sometimes you read and then sometimes you understand, sometimes you don't understand. I just want to give you very simple understanding. I want to make you to understand very, very simple. Then you can actually expand it, because first of all, Maqasid of Sharia, Maqasid al-Shari'ah is actually is not something that new. Maqasid actually is there from the beginning. When Sharia was given to Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, the Maqasid also given. Perhaps they may call it Mahasin instead of Maqasid. Mahasin is actually the beauty of Sharia. So the understanding of Maqasid, it is there from the beginning, but only recently Maqasid al-Sharia has become as a discipline. So if you ask me, Maqasid Sharia was there, but Ilmul Maqasid was not there. Ilmul Maqasid was quite recently. I think when there was an Imam called Imam Shatibi, he actually wrote a separate chapter in the name of Maqasid. Then after 400 years and 500 years, then there was a scholar in Tunis, and then some scholars in Middle East. They actually started talking about Ilmul Maqasid. So now there is a discipline of Maqasid Sharia, and then there is a understanding of Maqasid Sharia. Okay, you need to understand. So now, in understanding Maqasid Sharia, there is no problem, because it is only very simple. For I will let you know what is the understanding of, maybe what is the concept of Maqasid Sharia. All right, but when it comes to the knowledge of Maqasid Sharia, the ilm of Maqasid Sharia, the application, all right, remember, the application of Maqasid Sharia, it is something new. It is something that's what you are hearing so many places, like when you mention your assumption about Maqasid, it is all about application. That's why you have so many understanding, so many. But let me just give you first what exactly the concept of Maqasid, and then you have application of Maqasid. So the concept is very simple, because you just need to look into the word Maqasid al-Shari'ah. So the Maqasid means objectives. Sharia means Islamic law. So what is the objectives of the Islamic law? So now, what is Islamic law? The Islamic law is actually what? Is actually whatever the Sharia asking you to do, and whatever that the Sharia asking not to do. So there is a do's and there is a don'ts. All right? You have to be justice, you have to be kind, you have to help each other, you have to pray, you have to do fasting, you have to pay zakat, you have to go for hajj, you know, do all these do's. And then you have don'ts. You know, you don't drink alcohol, don't eat pork, don't do adultery, don't lie, don't steal, don't backbite. It is haram, backbiting. Don't gossip. Gossip is haram. Right? All these things. Do not waste. Israf. Israf is actually haram. It is not something makruh. It is haram. All right? So now, whatever that Sharia said don'ts, and then you have Sharia said do's. So do's and don'ts is what Sharia, what we call in Arabic ahkam. Ahkam means rulings. So now, when Sharia is actually giving you the rulings asking you to do this, asking you to not to do this. Is there any objectives? Is there anything that Sharia wants to achieve? Okay, now if I ask you a question, very simple question. What is the objective of traffic light? Anyone can tell me? Can anyone answer me? What is the objectives? Yes, please, go ahead.
To regulate the vehicle traffic.
But why? What is the objective? What is the objective to regulate that?
Prevent an accident.
Iman? Yes.
Prevent an accident.
To prevent accident. Very good. Why we have to prevent accident? Because we have to
Save life.
exactly. Very good. So now you understood why there is a traffic light, because it is to save our lives. As simple as that. So why there are government having rules? Why there is a police? Because for the security. Why there is a education system? Why there is a university? Why there is a school? Because for the education, to teach us, to make us understand. Why there is a marriage? Why there is a system called marriage? Because so that we can produce new humans, children. So now if you ask all this, then you understand that there must be objective. Why there is a government? Why there is a government is actually administrating us? Because so that they can actually give us the security and then maintain an administrator our affairs, so that we can have peace. All right. So the same thing. Now I'm asking you. This is what we know, small thing. But if you look into the original, which is actually Sharia, when Sharia says do not kill, when Sharia says do not drink, when Sharia says do not do adultery, there must be an objective that Sharia wants to achieve. When Sharia says go to prayer room, when Sharia says help each other, when Sharia says to do the fasting, to do the zakat, to go for Hajj, there must be something that Sharia wants to achieve. As simple as that. It's not like, Sharia asking us to pray because there's no reason. Sometimes, for no reason, it is not correct. It's not the right thing to do. Sometimes there is no, sometimes, someone may have some pet and then unnecessarily, throwing something and unnecessarily making the pet disturbed or, suffer, unnecessarily make a pet suffer. You have to answer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Even your cat, you cannot mess with your cat. You have to answer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Even small, unnecessarily there is something going and then you unnecessarily go and hit it and bite it or beat it, which is actually not correct. It's not, as long as it's not disturbing you, you cannot go and kill it or something. So now, coming back to the topic, so if Allah want us to pray, it's not because Allah says and then we are doing. There is a reason why Allah asks us to pray, so that when we pray, we are going to the masjid and surah, we see each other, we say salam to each other, we stand, beside each other, and then we pray together, and then we are having this, kind of peace, and then we are together in this, and then we ask after the prayer, we ask each other, how are you, what is your matter, if there is any business, if there is education, if there is anything, we talk, and then we go and we meet again. Similarly, when you go for fasting, when you do fasting, you understand exactly what is hunger, how poor people are suffering because they don't have food, and I have all the food and then I've been eating, I never been fasting. Now I started fasting, I realize how difficult to be hungry. Before this, I didn't know what is hungry. Now I know. Similarly, is go to zakah, similarly go to hajj, similarly go to helping each other, kind, right? So when Allah says, even when you do not gossip, when Allah says you do not backbite, You know, Quran says that أَيُحِبُّ أَحَدُكُمْ أَنْ يَأْكُلَ لَحْمَ أَخِيهِ مَيْتًا فَكَرِهْتُمُوهُ. When we are backbiting somebody, Quran says that, do you like to eat your brother's dead body? Allah says this. It's not me. Don't think I'm very harsh on you. I'm not. Quran is harsh on every one of us. Quran is asking me, do you like to eat your brother's dead body? Na'uzubillah. Why should I like my brother's dead body? That's what I'm doing when I backbite someone, when I do backbiting. Okay, now I understand. I cannot, as a person, I cannot do the backbiting. I understand. But can I do it? Can I do it in fake ID? I don't do in the name of Aslam. I'm not doing in the name of Mohamed Aslam Akbar, but I create a fake ID and then I go around in social media and then I do all things. Whatever that I cannot do directly, I cannot do transparently, how am I supposed to do that? How it is correct that I can do it online? Because in online nobody recognize me so that I can do anything. I create a fake ID and then I go to some sort of internet and then I do all sort of things. Do you think it is makruh? It is not makruh. It is not makruh to create fake ID and then go around and then do something without people knowing. It is not makruh. It is haram. It is haram to create a fake ID. You need fatwa? I'll give you fatwa. I will write it down for you. To create fake ID, to do something, to kill something in online. I cannot kill someone. Allah said, do not kill each other. Do not lie. Allah said, lie is a big sin, right? Today, it's quite simple in online. I can say I'm coming from Australia, I'm coming from New Zealand. I put my birthday differently. I put my birthplace differently. I put fake photo in my social media and then I put different names. Sometimes I change my gender. So now, how it is actually justified when I cannot do it face to face? If I cannot do face to face, I should not do online as well. I cannot do online as well. Cannot. I'm not saying it is makruh. It is a haram. It's not me it is not me when I'm doing this kind of things. And then I have to be responsible for everything. I have to be responsible for everything. Someone might come and say, sir, is it okay I use a different name because I'm afraid if I give my name, I will be in trouble. I know, I agree. Maybe some of you already have this thought. Maybe some of you already wanted to ask this question. Sir, can I have a different name, fake name, because I didn't want them to identify me. I just want to secure myself. Which is very good question, right? I want to secure myself so that I don't want to give my original name. My answer to you is, if you really have that question, my answer to you is, why are you there in first place? Why are you there if you think that you cannot trust that people? Can I say that I will play with fire, I will make sure that I don't burn my hand? But I will play with fire, it's okay. But as long as I don't burn my hand, I can play with fire. Who asked you to play with fire? Why are you even going near to the fire when you know that the nature of the fire is burning? So now, if I ask myself why I have to pretend somebody else, when I know that the community there, I cannot trust those people. If you cannot trust those people, you don't have to deal with it. If you think that if you think that if I give more information in social media about me, what I'm doing, where I'm eating, what I'm drinking, what I'm wearing, those community, they don't deserve to know what I'm doing. I don't have to give them everything. I don't have to tell them everything because I have my own life. I have to respect my life. You need to understand this. This is what Prophet said. You know, al-aynu alayka haqqun, right? Al-udhunu alayka haqqun. Al-jism, al-badan alayka haqqun, meaning to say that your eye has the responsibility on you. You have to do something for your eye. You have to secure your tongue. You have to secure your body, because this is something as given to us as an amana. We cannot put that outside and then, you know, become like a public market. So now the question, answering the question is, why should I do that? If I don't trust those people in the online, I don't have to be there first place. If I trust them, if I think that I'm doing the right thing, if I think that I'm not the wrong person, then I will be putting my name, the real name. And then you may have some other questions like, can I say I want to divide, and I want to separate my personal life from my social life, from the official life. So can I have different name for official email? For example, there is an email for the university, there's an email for personal thing. Can I have different two emails? Of course you can have different emails. You can have additional emails. There is no problem with that. You can have additional profiles. There is no problem with that. But the problem is, why I have to create a name which actually is a fake name, or is actually something that people cannot recognize me. Then the question is, how am I supposed to create something additional profile? If I have to create additional profile, I have to use some other name which people will not recognize me. This is what sometimes the question might come, right? If I create a different name, if I create additional profile, then I need to have another name. I will be saying, no, you don't have to make a different name. You can have your name and then add something. For example, you want to have an official email. Put, for example, I give you I give you my idea. Aslam official. This is one profile. Another one, Aslam social. Another one, Aslam family. All right, Aslam business, Aslam education. See, I can do that. I can create more profile like that. Why I have to create something that people cannot recognize me? And then we call it username. What is the meaning of username? User name. If I'm the user, I have to put my name. There is a username. You know, I also wonder sometimes when people go into some websites, the website themselves say, do not use your real name. Do not use your real name. Look, the website themselves say. Now, this is also a good question. Sometimes people ask me, the website themselves, they say, you should not use the real name. Then, you know how it is look like? It looks like, let's go to the bank. Don't show your identity. Have something to hide your face, because we are going to rob the bank. We are going to rob the bank. So make sure that you have something like a clown or something to hide your face. This is what it looks like. When a website is telling you do not use your real name, that website is actually trying to get information from you. Most of the time, this is what people do when they play games. All right. Anyway, this is all. I'm just talking to you because when Sharia says that do this and don't do this, it is not only for face to face. It is not only to person. It is also, if Sharia says do not kill, can I kill someone in the game? Sir, can you answer me? Can I kill? Do you expect me to say it's okay, Muhammad, it's okay, Fatima, you can kill someone in the game? If my daughter come and ask me, if my son 5 years old come and ask me, I want to play this game whereby I will be killing people, I will be shooting, this is a game, can I say it's okay to kill someone in the game? And And then how am I supposed to let him grow in that mind? And then later, what makes him that, how am I supposed to know that he will not kill real people in the real life? You understand my point? Because these are the thing now, it became very sensitive, it became very important, because when these things came like 5 years, 10 years ago, people they didn't talk about it. They say it's okay, just okay. But now I'm telling you, people get obsessed with that. People get obsessed. People get problems because of that. I'm telling you, you know these examples. You may see your friends desperate, psychologically affected because of playing games. You know, back in India, there was a time people falling down from the tree, falling down from the block, from the apartment. Then we came to know, the police came to know, because it's the game. Because they are following the instruction in the game, and then they are falling down. You and me might be thinking maybe he is crazy or she is crazy falling down, but it might happen anytime. I don't know. So what does it mean? No means no. If Sharia says no in real life, it is also no in online life. In virtual life, it is no in physical life, it is also no in virtual life. Right? So anyway, I just wanted to take this opportunity to talk to you about it, but you may ask me some questions regarding this before I go to the next one. Yes, please ask me if you have any questions. Don't worry, it's okay. You can ask me any questions regarding this. It's okay. This is all we are learning, right? So it's fine. Go ahead. Or just tell me, have you heard someone telling that this is wrong? Yeah, I cannot hear you. No, I cannot hear you. Imran, I cannot hear you. I don't know why. Now I think, yeah. Yes, Mahyuddin, you tell me. Just tell me. Have you heard someone pointing out these problems recently? I just want to get some support. I mean, do you think letting these things, unnoticed, letting these things unnoticed might create more problem in future?
I think this is my first time hearing this because usually we just go on with our lives, and I never thought that it was that serious. So yeah, this is an eye opener. Thank you, sir.
You are good. You are good. Yes, Vasila. Actually, that's what I'm just asking, because I might be I only talk about this only in a small group like this. I'm not actually giving a talk for mainstream. I'm just talking to small group, and then when I say this, everyone, they said, yeah, this is something that we need to, because something that we do today, but tomorrow if my siblings wants to do it, if my son or daughter wants to do it, we are the first people will be stopping it, but we are doing it. You might have seen your siblings, your little brother or your little sister, when she is crazy about playing games, shooting someone, killing someone. Have you ever thought that how to stop it? Sometimes they don't even eat. They don't even eat, until they have the phone playing this. They are just 6, 7 years old, 8 years old. Yeah, PUBG. Yes, Imran. That is the game I was talking about, PUBG. Yeah. So, what kind of independence it is? I know. We are all in this together. That's because this is not completely our fault. You know, remember this. This is not completely your fault or my fault. It's because the environment making us to do. Look, everyone have right now a very good phone. We are all having, like, you know, Android or iPhone. You know, comes with graphic card, RAM speed, like, you know, 6 GB minimum, 4 GB or 6 GB. You have 128 GB. You know, hard disk. Right, you have the Snapdragon kind of thing, you know, the core processor and everything. So your phone is superb. When you open anything, it looks nice, and then you keep on playing. It makes you play, right? It's happened to everybody. It's happening to everybody. But my question is, can we regulate this like traffic? You know, you may have a beautiful, powerful Ferrari, but you have to stop at the traffic. Am I right? Is it possible that you don't have to stop for traffic because you are driving Ferrari?
No.
Mahyuddin, is it possible in Singapore?
No, sir.
What they will do in Singapore? The punishment is high, huh? Because I have a very strong car that I can just do anything. So do you think that I don't have to follow the traffic rules because I have a expensive car? Still I have to follow. Yes, Mahyuddin, you were saying something.
Well, we might be fined, and if we offend too many times, our license might be revoked.
Exactly. So license will be revoked, and then big problem. You cannot even drive for another 10 years. So the thing is, that's why we have everything, but how do we regulate it? So at least we tell our siblings, we tell our children, we tell ourselves, okay, I play game, fine, but I will not play after this. I will not play games, something that killing something. So now what are the options you have? What are the options you have? You have options like playing games like, the athletics games, or, FIFA, cricket.
Racing games, yeah.
Racing game. Thank you. Racing games. What else? You know better than me. You have so many other options. So you need to fix this. Okay, I will play, but I will not play these kind of games. I will not play something which is physically I will not do. That same thing I will also not do in virtually. I will not kill anybody physically, so I will not kill anybody virtually. Racing is fine. FIFA is fine. There are so many games, right? There are plenty of them is actually which is okay to play. But certain things we have to make ourselves okay. We cannot play this kind of thing. We have to bring that rules. We have to make that thing. And then similarly, you look into YouTube, you look into Netflix, you look into social media, whether Facebook or Instagram. Every single day, they just want to keep you there. Don't you see that? Look at the updates of YouTube. Once you open, it just continuously running. Once you open Netflix, you don't even go to bathroom because the contents are there like that, or Amazon Prime or whatever it is, right? So once you open social media like Facebook, you scroll down until your finger get tired. You scroll down, or your mouse become something. I mean, your mouse become it broken. You like scroll down, or in the phone until your thumb fade or something. Because this is the reason why, because they want you to stay longer. They want your time longer time. Social dilemma. Very good, Amar. Go and watch it. Right? So look at it. This is what's actually happening. You need to understand this. Right? So now every single company is actually want your time to, and then now what's happening? For example, I know most of you, I know some of you, alhamdulillah, understand this, but some of our friends outside, they still didn't understand this. They don't have the opportunity to understand this. We need to know this. Why? Because Our phone is actually our companion. We don't talk much to our parents the way we talk to our phone. We don't deal with our friends the way we deal with our phone. We don't deal with our professors the way we deal with our phone. Every time we go, we have to stand in the line, we take our phone, we watch, we scroll. If there is a waiting area for the food, we open and then we watch something, we scroll. We have to go to Jumu'ah prayer and the Imam is actually, giving khutbah. Today, mashallah, many people, they came to IIUM mosque. Today, actually, I felt like after the prayer, I was walking. I wish all of you here, I know you are the first semester student, you will be happy to see the environment. I saw today after the prayer, mashallah, it's like the old time, It's almost like 1 year now, 1 year, I think last March, this April. So I saw like so many people coming out from the masjid, and then I saw many people, coming through, passing by the library. I saw that, and then there is also they opened a new Nescafe just beside the library. I also bought one after a long time. So I'm just saying, in fact, including the Jumu'ah prayer, you can see the Imam is actually, giving khutbah and then scrolling. So just tell me, when did we stop scrolling? Huh? We never stop scrolling. Scrolling is going on. That's because the phone is making. So this is the time we need to understand who is slave to who. We bought the phone, but before that, phone already bought us. Do you disagree? The phone already bought us before we bought the phone. This is the truth. So we need to realize that, and then coming back to al-hukum, al-ahkam, rules and rulings, whatever Allah said is not to do in the physical life, it is also compatible to the virtual life. We cannot have that kind of fake name and then do anything we want. We need to think about all this. So now, as I told you, Allah says this, do's and don'ts. There is a reason why Allah says do's and don'ts, because the Sharia wants us to be safe, helping each other, kind each other in terms of religion, in terms of wealth, in terms of intellect, in terms of lineage, in terms of our life. So that's why they come up with the 5 fundamental values. Remember, these 5 fundamental values is actually Sharia wants to do. It's not that the other way around. For example, I built a supermarket, I built a mall so that people can stay safe inside, so they can have happiness, so they can have some entertainment, so they can have money can be multiplying from that mall. From that mall, they can have the security. From that mall, they can also, produce humans. If you create a mall to bring these 5 fundamentals, that's not Maqasid Sharia. That's not the objectives of the Sharia. That is the objectives of the mall. You need to understand the difference. For example, if some company say that our aim is actually to protect these 5 values, then it won't become, even though these 5 values are actually the similar 5 values of Maqasid, objective of the Sharia, it doesn't mean that whatever that company is doing actually also the Sharia. Here we need to understand whatever the rulings that Sharia asking us to do, that rulings is already there in Quran and Sunnah. The same rulings until today continues. For each and every time the new issue comes, the new ruling comes. You understand? When flight was discovered, when people started flying, they don't have water inside the flight, they don't know which is the Qibla, they have to pray. Which happened just within last 100 years. Within 100 years it happened. Before that, no one were flying. No one flying on the top of the Kaabatullah. Everybody traveling, whether ship, whether cruise or a car or maybe kettles, whatever it is, they were traveling on the floor or on the sea, but nobody traveling in the space. So when that kind of problem came, the problem is, how do I pray? Where is the Qibla? How do I pray? These are the problems. Then later, so many other problems, medical problems, commercial problems, financial problems, right? Each and every time we have new issues comes, we have the rulings based on Quran and Sunnah. We always have rulings. So all those rulings that we have, we need to believe that those rulings actually based on the well-being, the benefit of the people, for the benefit of the people. So now you and me, if I'm creating a rule, just now I was talking to you about the virtual world. You should not have the fake ID when I told you, because I was meaning the objectives of the Sharia. That's why I was giving you that fatwa. I was giving you my rulings that it is actually haram to do this, because of that people are suffering. People will suffer in future. That's why I say, for the maslahah, for the benefit, I'm giving you this. Also to prevent the same thing for the don'ts. Why Allah said do not kill each other? Why Allah said do not lie, do not backbite, do not gossip? Because prevent harm. Because when you do that, when someone do that, for definitely someone will get hurt. So I just want to bring all these things. Maslaha and mafsada is the only objective why Sharia was given to us. So whoever follow the Sharia, if you to bring that mafsada and mafslaha, I mean to bring that benefit, and I mean to bring the benefit and to prevent harm, which is actually the objective of the Sharia, which is actually Maqasid Sharia, what you and me should do. Tell me. Answer my question. What you and me should do to prevent the mafsada and to bring the benefit, the maslaha to the people, what you and me should do.
Amar ma'ruf nahi munkar, sir.
Yes, that is what ma'ruf, that is the benefit, that is the mafsada, right? What you should and me, fundamentally what you and me should do. Because this is the objective of Sharia. The objectives of the Sharia is to bring the benefit and to prevent the harm. So what Sharia want us to do? The Sharia, yes. Yes,
we should follow the rules.
exactly. Very good, Akil. Very good answer. Because we should follow the Sharia. We don't have to create the welfare without following the Sharia. I cannot create something. I cannot create, because if I create, for example, I have created an university, but I'm not following Sharia. I have created university. I said this university for the well-being for the humankind. But inside the university, you can drink alcohol, you can have dating and coupling, or you can deal with interest, and there is no specific place to pray, to do your worship. But your idea is what? To bring the welfare to the people. That's not going to happen. It looks like it will happen, but it's not going to happen. So I have created this phone, I invented it for the welfare of the people, but at the same time, I'm actually not following the Sharia. If I'm not following the Sharia and then I'm using this phone, trust me, the well-being cannot be brought, the harm cannot be prevented. So everything comes, how do we follow the Sharia? So if I follow do's and don'ts properly, then these 5 things already will happen. So now you tell me the fundamental question I'm asking you again, the fundamental question, but a different way. I'm asking you, today we are having this climate change. We are having this global warming. We are having these resources all drying out. We are having problem in the sea. The whales are eating plastics and then, you know, dying on the shore, right? That the birds are reducing the population, right? The water, there is a problem in the water. There is not enough groundwater. There is not enough oxygen. There are sometimes we can see that the sky is full of smoke. So now you tell me, fundamentally, what was wrong? Fundamentally, what is that we didn't do? What is it? What is it that we didn't do? Fundamentally speaking, because today we have all these problems, right? That's the reason why we are talking about sustainable development, right? So what exactly that we missed? Anyone?
Caring.
Because of what? My question is, because of what today all these problems are happening? Because of what there is no maslaha among the people? Because of what there is mafsada among the people? There is harm among the people.
So
Yes, Mahyuddin.
because the people governing the world right now do not follow the Sharia.
Exactly, Mahyuddin. Exactly. I can answer this question, but I really want you to answer so that you know you have this interaction and you are understanding it. This is what I want. This is the only reason why I'm teaching this class. I want you to understand, and then you can convey the message. This is what exactly Maqasid Sharia. If you ask me now, what is the relevance of Maqasid and sustainable development? There is a lots and lots of relevance. The whole world, the Muslim leaders, they fail to follow the Sharia. That's the reason why there is a maslaha, there is no maslaha, and then that's why there is a mafsada, I mean harming. That's the reason why we have problems today. And that's the reason why today we are talking about sustainability, so that we can go back and then correct all this, so that the upcoming nasl, right, the progeny, the upcoming children, my siblings and your siblings, my children, your children, can have a good world to live without having all these problems. Today, one small virus stopped me and you to go to Surau. Am I right or not, Mahyuddin? One small, for how long already? It's been how long already? More than 1.5 years, right?
Yes.
Yes, Firdaus. You can clearly see now. One small virus just started in Wuhan. And today it stopped me. All my religious, I mean, whatever that I was following the Sharia, I was not able to complete. If this thing happen in future, people cannot even go for masjid, cannot even go for fasting. Remember last year, how many of you went to Hajj? How many Muslims went to Hajj from Singapore, Mahyuddin?
None, sir.
None. Tamam. How many from your place?
I don't remember the number, but it's very few.
Okay, very few, because you are close, right? Very close to. But Hajj was not there. The Hajj, the entire work, I mean, people very, very small. The one people were there, the close people only were doing it. Usually we have millions and millions of the people go for Hajj. Because of this one virus, there is no Hajj for so many people. If from India, nobody go. From South Asia, nobody go. From Africa, nobody go. So remember this. Why these things are happening? Because if you want to look into the virus, why the virus, where is it come from? You go deeply into it, you find out, you will find out. One day they will give the report. They are saying this, now it's become conspiracy. Is it came from bat, or it came from some other food, some other meat? You know, sometimes the country also fail. I mean, the country also does not. They don't want to. They don't want to take the blame. They don't admit. Definitely, they don't admit. If they admit, the whole world will, you know. So you can see why that one problem comes, because we didn't properly follow the Shari'ah. So if this is the one example you and me should understand. That's the reason why you and me, we are not having physical face-to-face classes. Now I have to use this junk. Okay, even though I'm using it for the good purpose, right? I'm using this Microsoft, I'm using this Google Class Meet, and then, you know, other things. I'm using it because of that. I'm not seeing you directly, right? So this is the reason why. So now you will understand. This is the topic, pretty much very, very close. So I want you to think this in this way when you are doing the reflective journal. All right. Remember, that's the reason why I'm giving you all this. So when you do the reflective journal, so when you have chosen your issues, whatever the issues that I gave it to you in the WhatsApp group, you think in that way, and then you give your reflection. That's what we call reflective journal. All right. The ultimate objective of Sharia is to promote and protect the well-being of people and nature, which lies in the safeguarding of 5 fundamental objectives of Sharia. So these are the 5 things: Hifz al-Deen, Hifz al-Nafs, Hifz al-Aql, Hifz al-Nasab, Hifz al-Mal. If Hifz al-Deen is not there, that's it. If there is a country telling you that you have to change your name, if there is a country telling you that you have to eat pork, you have to drink alcohol, you should not learn Arabic. If there's a country saying that, that's it. Meaning to say, my religion is not safe. I cannot practice my religion. That's it. The first thing, the fundamental thing is for Maqasid actually religion. Without the deen, how? Without the deen, without Iman, what am I supposed to do in this world? I can become the body, the mayyit, the dead body, rather than I'm not following the religion. I have to be given the religious independence so that I can follow. I don't have to answer to anybody. I don't have to ask anybody, can I go pray? Can I do this? Can I do that? That is the thing. Then we have life, we have intellect, we have lineage, we have wealth. All these things, now you can see that it is all most probably, you know, connect, relevant to what we have problems today in the name of sustainable development. All right. So you can see also here the United Nations SDG. We will see that although these have not been developed on a religious basis, even though the people who started this United Nations agenda of SDG, they didn't start on the basis of religion. They started on the basis of material life. But if you look into 5 fundamental values, other than the first one, other than the religion, look at the others. You have life, you have wealth, you have intellect, you have lineage. What are they? Yes, Iman, you can go to toilet, no problem. So now you have life, you have wealth, you have intellect, you have lineage. All these actually material life, other than the religion. The first one is the deen. If you look into others, it's all material life, right? Because my life, my wealth, my intellect, my education, my reproduction, my lineage, all these actually material life, of course. But Islam says when you have that religion first, when your religion comes first, and the remaining material life can become your tool so that you can use it to get the reward in the hereafter. This is what Allah says in Quran, وَبُتَغِي مَا آتَاكَ اللَّهُ الدَّارَ الْآخِرَةِ. Whatever that Allah has given you, whether it is a wealth, is it your life, is it your health, is it your intellect, your reasoning, it is your family, whatever that Allah has given you, make sure that through those material things, through those material life, وَبُتَغِي مَا آتَاكَ اللَّهُ الدَّارَ الْآخِرَةِ. You do all those things, but you need to get your akhirah. the house, the adobe of akhirah through this. So if my dunya is not good, if my dunya is actually having problems, if I'm not complete good, I'm still having hunger, I'm still poor, I don't have the road, how am I supposed to drive my car? The fundamental thing is the road. Then only I can reach from one place to another place. So now, if I have my problem in my wealth, in my life, in my intellect, in my lineage, how am I supposed to use those material life and convert into creating life after akhirah? I mean, life after this, which is akhirah. So you need to understand, dunya is very, very important to get your akhirah. So if someone comes and talk to you, forget about dunya. You know, sometimes people say like tasawwuf, Sufi, zuhud, you know, sometimes. No, it's not that. It's not like that. It's not like that. That's the reason why Islam talks about wasatiyah. You have to have your beautiful life, good life, but not for the sake of this life, but for the sake of next life. If you have a very good car, you can go quickly to your surah. If you have the sustenance, enough sustenance, you can stay in your home and you can pray. If you have something to eat for suhoor, so that you can have for your fasting. If you have something for your breaking fast, so that you can do some worship during the Ramadan, and then you can wait to do your breaking fast. If you don't have anything, you have to go for work, then how it is possible for you to, you know, stay in worship if you have to work each and every single day? That's why your dunya must be complete, must be good enough to get your akhirah. Remember that. That's the reason why you actually trying to get this degree, so that you can have your good life here, but not for the sake of here, but for the sake of akhirah. So without this, you cannot safeguard your religion. That's why all this life, intellect, lineage, and wealth. Now you come back to the United Nations, even though they don't have the religious basis, but most of the goals actually aligned with the spirit of Islamic law, because they are talking about make this world better for the next people, for the people who come. We also say the same thing. So let us make this better place, so that more people can have a spiritual life, so that more people can go to the masjid, so that more people can do fasting, so that more people can earn something, so that they can pay zakat. Zakat. How will you pay zakat if I ask you not to go for work? How am I ask you to go for Hajj if you don't earn something? Because if you don't earn anything, you don't have to go to Hajj, because Hajj is not compulsory on everybody, only for those who earn. Right? So earning is important in order to complete the duties that Sharia is actually asking you. That's why you need to understand how close Sharia and dunya is. Right? If there is no Sharia and you only follow dunya, problem. If there is no dunya, you say only Sharia, you cannot complete Sharia. So Sharia and dunya must be together. It has to go together. Right? Then only you can fulfill, and then you can get and create your akhirah. And by doing that, if this sustainable development program is actually helping you, you do it. Nothing is stopping you. There is no reason that why I should not take part in sustainable development. I have all the reasons that I have to take part in this sustainable development, because this sustainable development, whatever the activities that I'm doing, this one will help me to create my akhirah. This is what the understanding. All right. So then you can see, you can read all these. Everything is actually interrelated. In Islam, sustainability of 5 things: life, faith, mind. Right. To be an objective of the Maqasid Sharia, and Muslims are duty bound by their religion to ensure the sustenance of these 5 objectives. This means that the Islamic development is endogenously sustainable, since preservation of life is an explicit objective of the Islamic law, which makes only those development efforts Islamically permissible that do not compromise the ability of future generation to meet their own needs. See, it comes again, become relevant, like what sustainability says. All right, so let me just play some videos. I think most of you are now understood. Let me play some video pertaining to Maqasid Sharia.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Maqasid is an Arabic word that means the objectives, the purpose, the end, the principle. In French, that would be finalité. In German, that would be like Zweck. In Greek, would be telos. Like it's something that has to do with the meaning and the objective of the Sharia. So Maqasid al-Sharia are the objectives of the Sharia. They are, in daily language, the answer of the question of why. Oftentimes we do not ask why, we ask what, and we ask how, and we ask when and where. So we focus on the when and where and the what and the how, but we do not focus on the why. Once we think in terms of why, then we take our thinking about the Sharia to the higher level of akhlaq, of ethics and morals, the higher level of principles. And these why theories of the Sharia, scholars had put a number of theories over the centuries. They range from meanings like justice and equality and common good and facilitation, etc., to the famous theory of the preservation of mind and soul and so forth. The question of why is a question that is very important to ask, because if I deal with Islam as traffic lights, I stop in front of the red and I go with the green, and I don't ask why the traffic light, that is a problem, because sometimes the traffic light thinking is not enough. Sometimes you go to a different country and the lights are not green or red, they are different colors. So how are you going to deal with that if you don't understand that red is for the stopping and green is for the going? Sometimes you are a driver of an ambulance and you need to go through the red light in order to save a life, for example. We need to understand why in order to have the spirit of stopping in front of the traffic light. So yes, Islam is a number of rules that we follow, but once we ask, why is this the case? Why am I forbidden to do that? Why am I obliged to do that? And then I do what I have to do with a good spirit and with a motivation to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with awareness and consciousness. We have a problem sometimes in our Islamic thought and Islamic thinking that we do not ask why, we just follow blindly. And sometimes we follow opinions that are wrong. And because we didn't ask why, the opinion didn't make sense, but we followed it anyway, and it causes damage and it causes harm. And the Sharia is not here to cause damage or harm. The Sharia is a way of life that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had sent. Shara'a yashra, another Arabic word that means an Islamic way of life that is divine, that is divinely prescribed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But al-fiqh, which is the law, is something that we understand from the Sharia. So the fiqh is human, but the Sharia is divine. The Sharia is complete and the Sharia is perfect. But our fiqh, our understanding, is not necessarily complete. In fact, it's never complete. It's always a human understanding of the Sharia. Fiqh could be right and could be wrong. And fiqh could change with the change of time. And that is why Maqasid al-Shari'ah are very important, because Maqasid al-Shari'ah tell us the fiqh that is right from the fiqh that is wrong, and tell us why and how we could change fiqh with the change of time. So how do you judge if the fiqh is right or wrong? By going back to Maqasid al-Shari'ah. Ibn al-Qayyim, one of the great scholars of Islam, said that Sharia is all about justice, mercy, wisdom, and common good. So these, they call them the four principles in that knowledge of Maqasid Sharia. Wisdom, mercy, common good, and justice. Then he said every opinion that takes Sharia from being about justice to being about injustice, then it is not Sharia, even if somebody claims for it to be Sharia according to an interpretation. So this gives us a criteria on judging the right interpretation from the wrong interpretation. The Quran is always correct. The Quran is the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But the interpretation is not always correct. Sometimes you have a correct interpretation and sometimes you have an incorrect interpretation. If the interpretation is compatible with Maqasid al-Sharia of justice and common good and wisdom and mercy, then it is a correct interpretation. And if it is not compatible with these higher values and principles of Islam, then it is a wrong interpretation. And that is how we can live Islam in today's world with the change of circumstances and the emergence of many, many new opinions. That's how we can judge the right opinions from the wrong opinions. And that is why it is a very important topic that I urge everybody to read about. Alhamdulillah.
Sir, we cannot hear you.
Sorry, I forgot to unmute. Okay, that was really a very good explanation, because he wrote many books in Maqasid Sharia. I think I also have his book. His name is Jasir Auda, and I have his book in the name of towards the principles of Maqasid. I think so. He is a scholar of Maqasid. I think pretty much. I think whatever that we discussed, he put it in that 5 minutes, and then he gave it to you. That, but nicely, nicely put everything. So that's the reason why we need to, because I know some of you are going to learn fiqh as well. So Sharia is there, which is divine, complete, but fiqh is actually understanding of that divine. So meaning to say, Sharia is from Allah and Rasul, which cannot be changed, but fiqh is actually human. It can be changed. So now Maqasid of Sharia will be helping you to find which fiqh is the right and which fiqh is the wrong. And then Maqasid will make you, bring more ijtihad, understanding of, reasoning of that fiqh in current life. That's why Maqasid is pretty much very much related to sustainable development, because sustainable development is something that we are doing now, sustainability. and Maqasid has a big role to play. So breathing new life into Maqasid Sharia, this is our rector, he wrote it in 2015. And then now this is a small activity, just I want to ask you, how do you see Maqasid Sharia applied at home, in your surroundings and in your society? How do you see? Maybe some of them already been applied, you can mention. If not, then how do you think that you can actually apply at your home or in your surroundings or in your society? Okay, just give me one answer, or one sentence enough. I give you a few minutes, yeah, maybe 2 minutes, yeah.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, please.
Do you mean like how the Maqasid Shariah has been applied, has been implemented in our daily lives?
Yeah, how do you see? How do you see that Maqasid can be applied, or it was already applied?
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yes, 20 seconds left. Please publish your answers. Okay, good. So we have like what I can see, there are many councils of knowledge. Okay, Hifzul Aqal, take care each other, remember, limiting someone will 1/3 of possession children starving. Okay, good. From what I observe, how we have freedom in religion, public at home. Education is one of the Maqasid Sharia. From making sure people abide religious teaching at the mosque, to protect property, it is done by means of buying and selling and seeking rizki. We pray together every day. Very good. So I just share some of the answers to you. It's very good actually. Thank you for your answers. I think now you are understanding, and you are actually trying to relate to your home and your surroundings and your society. I think that's what we want actually. Okay, so this is the compatibility of 5 P's and Maqasid. Now you know about life, intellect. Okay, life, because we also talked about 5 P's, if you remember: peace, people, planet, prosperity, partnership. So now this one from the sustainable development, and we are trying to merge the 5 P together with 5 Maqasid. But I mean, it is still in the beginning of the process of the beginning, so I think it could be wrong. Maybe life is not about peace. Maybe peace, it will be the religion, or maybe people, it's not intellect. People will be, will be lineage, right? Planet will be wealth. It could be something different. It's all right to have that kind of differences, but right now we have 5 P's, and also we have 5 Maqasid Sharia values, and then these are the definitions, and these are the details of each and everything. All right, so please read this when you are free. Then okay, then we have again we have 17 goals, right? So we put, like, for example, number 16 is actually comes under peace and justice, will come under life. Then we have goal number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 come under intellect. Then we have 6, 12, 13 comes under lineage. Then we have 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 come under property, moral. Then 17 comes under religion. So these are the things, and then the relevant Quranic verses also we put here. So if someone wants to write, for example, if you have chosen any of the related STG, for example this one, then you might need Quranic verses to support your argument. Then you go back to this, the relevant Quranic verses. You choose from there. Okay, you choose from there, and then you can have some references from Quran when you are writing your individual papers. All right, so I think you need this slide to write your paper. Okay. And then there are some video talking about the Maqasid Sharia and Islamic finance. Okay, so maybe it's not relevant to all of us, but if you need, the video is available, you can watch it. Then the other part of the slides that I told you earlier, spirituality, because as you know, religiosity, maybe Islam as a religion, but when it comes to spirituality, then all those non-Muslim religions, non-Islamic faith also will come. So let me show you what is it actually. Okay, starting from here. Okay. Before this, whatever you saw, before this, whatever the slide just I was skipping is all about spirituality in Islam. I think most of you already know about it. Let's go into other religions and sustainable development. So now, if you want to see the Buddhism, right? Even Buddhism also, they have they talk about ecology. Do you know that the monk of the Buddhist monk, they don't originally, I mean, from the beginning, they don't even wear shoe. They don't, because for them, they don't even kill even small insect. The reason why they don't use the shoes, because they don't want to kill insect. That's how the environment, the ecology, the environmental teaching of Buddha was there. So you can see that Buddhism is completely averse to the notion that nature, and then most of them, they're all vegans actually. They don't eat meat. Mankind is part of the entire cosmic order, but not in a position to dominance. So the concept of taskhir is not there. Humans are just as much subject to the natural order of the universe as any other form of sentient existence. Buddhism is ecocentric rather than anthropocentric, right? Ecocentric. So it views human as an integral part of nature. So they believe that the human also similar to other animals. So human has no right to control any animals. Like there is no animal is actually controlling human. But similarly, human cannot control the animal. This is what they believe. Yeah. So I mean, when you want to talk about environment, because I know most of our non-Muslim friends actually coming from Buddhism, because we have Chinese, we have people from Thailand, people from Myanmar, right? I think most of them in Southeast Asia, I think mostly they go with Buddhism. Then you have Confucianism and environment. You know, if I may have some Chinese here, I think they might you know, I mean, this is relevant to them, because even we have Chinese here, also some of them following the real Confucianism. This is actually, again, they talk about the Tao. It's called, there's a Taoism as well. They talk about the earth, heaven, and human order, right? So this is all their description on environment. Then you have Christianity, right? So they talk about the biblical scripture. Through those verses, they say God created the earth and all of the nature in it. God teaches humans through nature. God expects humans to be stewards with the nature revelation. So I think if you see that the good things, the things that you see which is similar to Islam, similar to Quran. For example, Christianity talks about it. Similarly, Quran also talk about it. Let's say Buddhism talk about few things. Similarly, Quran also. If you find a similarity, which is actually right, which is actually possible, you find similarity, because all those good values, common values that we are talking, it came from the same creator. It cannot come from others. Maybe the bad things, maybe Shaitan brought many bad things to human being, but the good things, Shaitan cannot bring the good things. The good things only prophets brought to human. And how prophets brought to human? It's because Allah sent the revelation to the prophets. That's what the prophets do, right? They bring the revelation to us, and then they teach us. They make us, there's a tarbiyah, there is a tazkiyah. And then Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was not only the prophet. There were more than 120,000, more than 100,000 prophets, you know, in the history of the humankind. And we only know 25 prophets, those prophets who came close to Middle East. Because those are the prophets that Arabs, they know. Starting from, you know, Sulaiman, Dawood, Musa, Yaqub, Yusuf, all these came in that land. So Allah talks about it. Allah didn't talk about the prophets that came to our land. The one came to China, the one came to India. It doesn't mean that there is no prophets in India. Of course, because Allah says in Quran very clearly, every community we send prophets. This is crystal clear in Quran. Allah says in Quran, in the world, every community, we send them clearly, we send them our text, right? We send them our guidance through the prophets. It could be in different name. It could be Confucius, it could be Buddha. We don't know. It could be, but there is no records. But it doesn't mean it is not. It could be. So if they are talking about the good thing, it came from the Creator, who is the Rabbu Samawati wal Ard, who is Allah, the Creator of this universe. Then you have the Hinduism. Similarly, Hinduism has so many. Since I'm from India, I know there are so many, you know, what we call it, dharma, the values, what we call it, the truth, the satya. You know, there are so many values that we are talking. We have so many literatures, you know, in India. So many literatures talks about, you know, the environment, for example. There are some actually, they never talk about the polytheism. They talk about one God. There are many literatures talks about one God. So this is all actually, it's there, but later it's all mixed up, you know. Human being came in and then he put his own idea, interpretation, then, you know, became like a cult, and then this is what happened. But if you look into these, you know, they also talk about the removing the pollution. They talk about, you know, the reforestation. They talk about the, you know, even purifying the water. They talk about all these things. All right. So this is the conclusion for today. The United Nations SDG Agenda 2030 are primarily intended for the well-being for human being. So they intended which is material life, but still it is for the well-being of the human being. Like Agenda 2030, Maqasid Sharia also involves realizing the human well-being by enhancing welfare or benefit maslaha of the people on one hand, and preventing harm on the other. It is essential goals constitute safeguarding the faith, life, or self, intellect, prosperity, and wealth, and personal honor or human dignity, which are in line with 5P of sustainable development, which is people, planet, prosperity, peace, and partnership. Islam, like SDG, emphasizes the need for a better and harmonious society to be erected with constructive and productive economic activities. Sorry, it is economic activities without damaging the nature. A sustainable development strive for a balance in economy, social, and environment. Islam too drives a balance between the three to maintain efficient and effective resource usage. If spirituality becomes a way of life, upholding timeless moral, ethical, and human values, sustainability is certainly assured. This is what actually we want to tell. That's the reason why we are actually, we want to promote, we want to actually bring that 18th SDG, which we are trying to do. All right, so that is what we call spirituality. Okay, I think that's all from me. If people have some time, you can go and continue this. There's a time to climb, kind of game or something. You will understand the footprint, how much you spend, what is your footprint in this universe, how much you spend, how much you consume. This game will show you. If you want, you can just go ahead. You can do it in your free time. Okay, any questions before I stop this? So let me start the recording, then you can ask your questions.